Have you ever felt like your kindness is being taken for granted? Like you're always the one helping out, supporting others, and giving your all only to end up feeling completely drained and underappreciated? If this sounds familiar, believe me, you're not alone. Kindness is one of the most beautiful traits we can have as human beings. It connects us to others, spreads positivity, and makes the world a better place. But, and this is something many of us don't think about, there's a point where kindness can actually start to harm us. What happens when our good nature is not just appreciated but expected? What do we do when being kind turns into a burden instead of a joy? Part 1. Introducing the problem. We're often taught from a young age that being kind is always the right thing to do. Help others, be generous, put others first. These are lessons that have been drilled into us by our families, our schools, and our society. But here's the thing. What if there's a point where being too kind actually starts to harm you? What if excessive kindness leads to burnout, resentment, or even self-destruction? Think about it for a second. Have you ever gone out of your way to help someone, sacrificing your own time and energy, only to realize that they didn't even notice, let alone appreciate your effort? Or maybe they came back asking for more, without a second thought for your needs. Or perhaps you've found yourself so wrapped up in helping others that you've completely neglected your own priorities and dreams. If any of this sounds familiar, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is where the problem begins. Being overly kind can lead to a whole host of unintended consequences. So today, let's uncover the hidden dangers of excessive kindness and explore how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help you protect yourself. Part 2. 9 Consequences of Being Too Nice. Let's get into the 9 consequences of being too nice, so you can start to recognize the signs and take action before it's too late. The first consequence is unrealistic expectations. So imagine this. You go out of your way to help a friend. You sacrifice your time, energy, maybe even your resources to make their life a little easier. And what do you expect in return? Gratitude. Maybe a simple thank you, or at least the satisfaction of knowing you made a difference, right? But what happens when you don't get any of that? What if your kindness is met with indifference? Or worse, they just expect you to keep doing it. This is one of the first traps of excessive kindness, unrealistic expectations. You expect others to reciprocate your kindness, to acknowledge your efforts, and to be there for you when you need help. But here's the truth. Not everyone will meet those expectations. And when they don't, it leads to disappointment, frustration, and even resentment. This is why Stoic philosophy teaches us to give without expecting anything in return. I know it's not easy, but it's essential if you want to maintain your peace of mind. The second consequence is being taken advantage of. Let's be real for a moment. People will take advantage of you if they can. It's not that everyone is out to get you, but when you're consistently kind and giving, some people will start to see that as the norm. They might think, oh, so-and-so will handle it, no need for me to do anything. Before you know it, you've become the go-to person for every little task, every favor, every crisis. And while helping others is noble, it becomes exhausting when it's all one-sided. You end up feeling like a doormat, constantly giving without ever receiving any help in return. This is where setting boundaries becomes absolutely crucial. Without them, your generosity will be taken for granted, and you'll be left feeling drained. The third consequence is perceived as weak. Now here's a harsh reality. In a world that often values power and assertiveness, excessive kindness can be mistaken for weakness. People might start seeing you as someone who can be easily manipulated, pushed around, or ignored. Have you ever felt like your voice wasn't heard in a meeting, or that your opinions didn't matter because you were too nice? That's what happens when kindness is misinterpreted as a lack of strength. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate inner strength and self-discipline. It's about being kind, yes, but also being firm when it matters. It's okay to say no, to stand up for yourself, and to make it clear that while you are kind, you are not weak. The fourth consequence is developing dependency. Here's a tricky one. When you're always there to help, people might start relying on you more than they should. they might begin to depend on you for things they really should be handling themselves, whether it's making decisions, solving problems, or just getting through the day. And here's the kicker. You might start to depend on them needing you. It feels good to be needed, right? But what happens when you realize you've lost your own independence in the process? When you're so used to helping others that you can't even take care of your own needs? This kind of dependency can be crippling, and it's something Stoicism warns us about. Helping others is important, but not at the cost of your own autonomy. The fifth consequence is neglecting your own priorities. Do you remember the last time you worked on your own goals? Maybe it was a project you were passionate about, a hobby that brought you joy, or a dream you've had for years. Now think about how often you've pushed those things aside to help someone else. How many times have you sacrificed your own priorities for others? This is one of the biggest dangers of being too kind, neglecting yourself. Your dreams and goals are important, and they deserve your time and attention. Stoic philosophy emphasizes living in accordance with your values and not letting external demands derail you from your path. It's not selfish to put yourself first sometimes. In fact, it's necessary. The sixth consequence is isolation. This might sound counterintuitive, but being too kind can actually lead to isolation. You might find yourself surrounded by people who seem like friends, but when you really need them, they're nowhere to be found. These are the people who are there for what they can get from you, not because they genuinely care about you. When you're always giving, always helping, it can be hard to see who's really in your corner. And when you finally need support, you might realize that you're alone. This can be a painful realization, but it's a crucial one. Stoicism teaches us to choose our relationships wisely, to build connections based on mutual respect and genuine care. The seventh consequence is risk of addiction. When you're constantly giving and not receiving, it can create an emotional void. You're drained, exhausted, and maybe even resentful. And how do people often cope with these feelings? Through unhealthy habits. Whether it's drinking, gambling, overeating, or any other form of addiction. The void left by excessive kindness can be dangerous. Stoic philosophy encourages us to maintain balance and self-control in all aspects of life. It's important to recognize when you're reaching for unhealthy coping mechanisms and to address the root cause, whether it's burnout, stress, or emotional exhaustion. The eighth consequence is generating suspicion. Here's something you might not expect. Your kindness could actually make people suspicious. In a world where everyone seems to have an agenda, being genuinely kind can seem too good to be true. People might start to wonder, why are they being so nice? What's in it for them? This can be incredibly frustrating, especially when your intentions are pure, but it's important to remember that not everyone sees the world the way you do. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own actions and intentions, regardless of how others might perceive them. Your kindness is your choice, and as long as you're true to yourself, that's what matters. The ninth consequence is imbalance in life. And finally, there's the issue of imbalance. When you're constantly giving to others, it's easy to lose sight of your own needs. You might find yourself juggling too many responsibilities, feeling overwhelmed, and completely neglecting your own well-being. This is the ultimate consequence of excessive kindness, losing yourself in the process. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of balance in life. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can be kind and generous without sacrificing your own happiness and health. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Part 3. Stoic Philosophy and Strategies. Now that we've explored the consequences, let's talk about solutions. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers timeless strategies to protect yourself while still practicing kindness. Here are some Stoic strategies that can help you maintain your well-being while continuing to be kind and generous. First Stoic strategy is listen to your emotions. First and foremost, pay attention to your emotions. Your feelings are like a barometer. They tell you when something is off balance. When you start to feel overwhelmed, drained, or resentful, it's a sign that you might be giving too much and neglecting your own needs. Journaling is a powerful tool for this. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on how you're feeling. Are you giving more than you're comfortable with? Are there situations or people who are consistently leaving you feeling depleted? Stoicism encourages self-awareness as a foundation for making wise decisions. By tuning into your emotions, you can identify when it's time to pull back and take care of yourself. The second Stoic strategy is overcome the fear of saying no. One of the hardest things for kind people to do is say no. It feels wrong, like you're letting someone down or being selfish. But here's the thing. Saying no is not about being selfish. It's about setting boundaries. Think of it this way. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, often to yourself. Whether it's your time, energy, or peace of mind, these are valuable resources that deserve your protection. Practice saying no, even if it's uncomfortable at first. You don't have to give a long explanation, just a simple, polite refusal. Remember, you're not obligated to please everyone. Your well-being comes first, and saying no is a way to preserve that. The third Stoic strategy is make time for yourself. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget to make time for ourselves. We get so caught up in helping others that we forget to recharge our own batteries. But self-care isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, or indulging in a hobby you love, making time for yourself is crucial. This isn't about being selfish. It's about ensuring that you have the energy and mental clarity to continue being there for others. Stoicism teaches us to live in accordance with nature, and part of that is recognizing the natural need for rest and relaxation. So schedule time for yourself, just as you would for any other important task. The fourth Stoic strategy is cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity and burnout. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of feeling like you're constantly giving without getting anything in return, you start to see the positive aspects of your life. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a friend, or a moment of peace. This practice helps you maintain a healthy mindset and reminds you of the good things in life, even when you're feeling overwhelmed. The fifth Stoic strategy is avoid energy vampires. Let's talk about energy vampires. Those people who always seem to drain your energy with their constant complaints, negativity, or demands. We all know someone like this, and it's important to recognize the impact they have on your well-being. Stoicism teaches us to be selective about the people we allow into our lives. Surround yourself with positive, supportive individuals who uplift you rather than drag you down. It's okay to distance yourself from people who consistently leave you feeling depleted. Your energy is precious, and it's up to you to protect it. The sixth Stoic strategy is regularly reflect on yourself. Self-reflection is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's about regularly evaluating how you're living your life, how you're applying Stoic principles, and where you might need to make adjustments. Meditation, mindfulness, or simply taking a few moments of quiet each day can help you stay connected to your inner self. Ask yourself, are you living in alignment with your values? Are you maintaining a balance between giving to others and taking care of yourself? Reflection helps you stay grounded and ensures that you're not drifting too far from what truly matters. The seventh Stoic strategy is maintain balance and flexibility. Balance is key in life. It's easy to swing from one extreme to another, being overly kind and giving or becoming too guarded and closed off. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining balance and being flexible. Life is unpredictable, and different situations require different responses. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to kindness or self-care. Sometimes you'll need to be more generous, and other times you'll need to pull back and focus on yourself. The key is to be adaptable and to listen to what each situation requires. Don't be rigid in your Stoic practice. Allow yourself the flexibility to adjust as needed. The eighth Stoic strategy is differentiate between support and exploitation. One of the most challenging aspects of being kind is recognizing when someone is genuinely in need of support versus when they're taking advantage of your kindness. This requires discernment and wisdom, qualities that Stoicism helps to cultivate. When someone asks for help, take a moment to consider their intention. Are they truly in need, Or are they just looking for an easy way out? Stoicism teaches us to be helpful, but not at the cost of our own well-being. It's important to set limits and to know when to step back. By being mindful of the difference between support and exploitation, you can protect yourself from being taken advantage of while still being a compassionate person. The ninth Stoic strategy is identify and distance yourself from toxic people. Finally, let's address the difficult but necessary task of identifying and distancing yourself from toxic people. These are the individuals who consistently bring negativity into your life, who drain your energy, and who make you feel worse rather than better. Stoicism encourages us to be deliberate in our relationships. You don't have to maintain connections with people who are toxic to your well-being. It's okay to cut ties, to step away, and to prioritize your own mental and emotional health. Remember, your environment plays a significant role in your happiness and peace of mind. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who support you, and who respect your boundaries. So, what's the takeaway here? Kindness is indeed a beautiful thing, but it must be practiced wisely. It's essential to strike a balance, being generous without allowing your generosity to be exploited, being kind without sacrificing your own well-being. By applying the principles of Stoicism, you can protect yourself, maintain your inner peace, and still be the kind, caring person you naturally are. Remember, you deserve to be loved, respected, and appreciated just as much as anyone else. Don't let your kindness become a burden. Embrace these Stoic strategies, and you'll find that you can give to others while still keeping your cup full. Thank you for joining me in this journey of understanding the balance between kindness and self-care. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with your friends. Leave a comment below sharing your experiences with kindness and how you protect yourself. Let's create a community of empowered individuals who practice kindness without compromising their well-being.